Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Michaela Barnhart and I'm going into my third year teaching second grade in South Carolina. Today's video is going to be a highly requested one from you guys that have been here for a long time. I am finally going to start sharing our budget again. So for those of you that have been here for a while, you know that I used to do these monthly setups with our budget. I would show you what our actual budget is. I use real numbers, all the things. And then each week I'll do a weekly check-in with you guys, and I'm going to do the exact same thing this time. So every weekend you can expect to have a weekly check-in with me through our budget. At the end of the month, we'll go back and see where we were good, where we weren't good, all the things, and then we'll keep going from there. So I hope you guys are excited to see budget videos back. I know that's something that has been pretty requested of some people that have been around for a while. So here they are, and I'm pretty excited to be filming them. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. I have already stuck down all of our bills just for planning purposes and stuff. I like to be ahead of those. So they're already in for the whole month. And then I just noted paydays like this. But we are going to go ahead and set up our... sorry guys, I have a horrible cough. We're going to go ahead and set up like our stickers. And then we will flip and I'll set up my actual budget and share all of that stuff with you guys. I even share our income numbers. I try to be very transparent during these. You will see that we do go over budget in a lot of categories. Sometimes we go under budget in some categories. Like, I try to be very open and very honest with you guys because that's real life. You know, in real life, people are not sticking, like, I don't want to say sticking to a budget because people are. That did not come out right. But people are having times where they go over budget in a certain category, or there's things that come up that aren't planned for. Like, that is just real life. And so I don't want to get on here and pretend that, you know, our lives are any different. I also feel like it's very good to be transparent in a way that makes other people know that, like, they're not alone, you know. We have gone through, even recently, some pretty tough financial times where we have had to really cut back. We've really had to check our spending. We've had to even borrow money from time to time to be able to make ends meet. So, I mean, I just like to be transparent. So, anywho, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for this video, I have a planner cake kit. This is the same August kit that I used to set up the month. So I just have the monthly sheet, and then for the, like, specifically budget side of things, I have two of her budgeting sheets. I have B1 and B2, so it's the budget and then the weekly check-in, which we'll do in just a minute. But we're going to go ahead and start with putting in the headers. And to do this, I'm going to stick just the page that I need out so that I can make sure I line it up nicely. Just because that's who I am as a person. I don't want it to be all cattywampus. I want it to be lined up nicely. Close enough. That looks good. And then we'll get over here. This month I am going back to work. I obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm a teacher. This is my third year teaching second grade. So I've been on like summer break all summer, obviously, since May. So it's gonna be odd. I actually start back tomorrow morning. This is Sunday, wow, words are hard. This is Sunday, July 27th. Yeah, and I go back tomorrow morning, the 28th. So it's gonna be very interesting to be back at work, but we'll take you guys along for all that as well. I have lots of videos coming your way for work and like school related stuff and classroom prep, like just getting things ready for the beginning of the year, meet the teacher prep, all the things. So that should be fun coming up. But anywho, that being said, I'm hoping that we won't have a heavy spending month just because summer is over. We spent a lot over summer just because of trying to do things with the boys throughout the summer. You know, just trying to have fun. And because we were at home a lot, we would, like, occasionally I would take the boys and we would run to the library, and then we would grab like fast food lunch out. So we were spending a lot more during the summer, which is, you know, to be expected. So I mean, it is what it is. All right, that's all I'm going to put down on this page is just those, the headers, and the date, or the days of the week, and then I have all the bills filled in. As we progress, I will actually track our expenses. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. This is what July looked like. I did not film it, but we have been sticking to our budget. So right now, like I said, tomorrow's the 28th, today's 27th. So you can see I've tracked everything. I have all of my goodness, categories. So that is what you will see throughout August. And when I do my weekly check-ins on the, like, either Friday or Saturday, you guys will get to see what I spent throughout that week, or what we spent throughout that week. So this will definitely fill up a lot more. That's why we're going to start off very minimal. But next up, we're going to skip this page. If I had double-sided tape, I would stick them together, but I do not right now. And I'm going to actually skip to setting up my weekly check-in, just because it's a lot easier to set up than the budget. So we're going to start there. So I'm going to take my weekly check-in, put down the header first, hopefully. Okay. And then we will set up our weeks, and let's see exactly how many weeks we have. I usually like to do check-ins on either Fridays or Saturdays. So we're going to have 5 again, but 5 weeks just does not fit perfectly. So actually, you know what? I'm not even going to do a check-in on Friday the 1st, because that will go with July, really, because that'll be the 31st. So we'll do 4. We'll check in the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. So let's set up 4 weeks for check-ins. Drop my paper. So I wish these fit perfectly in between the lines, but they do not. Might as well come down to here. Not going to make a difference. And I don't check in on every single category. I check in on gas, groceries, fun money, and unbudgeted. So just 4 categories. So we'll leave enough room to have 4, or enough space for 4 things. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll go down to here just to make it look nice. And then we'll just do that again for weeks 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and week 4. So I only check in on those 4 because those are typically the ones, like, if we're going to go over budget, it's going to be in one of those categories. Usually not gas necessarily, just because gas kind of is what it is, you know. It's not like the camera's shaking, but that's because Anna's running around playing. Probably can hear the squeaky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, we might run around more than normal, or we might be going somewhere, but usually we're pretty good at not spending too much on gas. It's more groceries and fun money that, you know, is the thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna set that up. I'm not gonna use, obviously I don't need week 5, and then I don't total everything up, just because, like I said, I don't check in on every single category, so it's not like that's a total of all of our spending. It's just in those 4 categories, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. And then this is done. So as we go through, I'll write in the categories and everything, but I don't do that ahead of time. So that part is finished. Let's go ahead though and start setting up our actual budget. This is where we're going to spend the majority of our time together. All right, I just pulled up my budget draft. I did that in a notebook just so I can have it written down before I transfer into here, so that I don't hopefully have any mistakes that I have to fix. So let's go ahead and set this bad boy up. So we're going to start with income. And I have to make sure I pay close attention to the stickers, because sometimes I don't lay them down correctly. I get them in the wrong order. But it's okay. We can fix it if I do. So we're going to start with income. I track 3 categories for income. So we will track Jeremiah's income. That's my husband. That is what he makes from his actual job. And usually he brings home, unless there's, like, he doesn't really get overtime, but unless there's like an extra, like, bump up of some sort, or like he passes some kinds of tests, sometimes he'll get like a little extra. Usually he's going to bring home around $3,352. So that is what we will budget as like our estimated. Then we have myself. Of course, you guys know I am a 3rd-year teacher. I usually bring home around $3,088. That one probably will go up in August, just because every year we get like a little bump up. If you're a teacher, you know, you get just like a little bit, like a couple $100 usually, bump up every year that you get like another, like you gain experience. So that one will probably go up here in August. I don't know what that's going to be, so I'm going to base this off of what it has been in the past. Man, those words are really hard today. And then I also like to make a miscellaneous category. And I actually budget nothing for this, because I would rather budget nothing and actually have something come in for that income than the opposite. So I do nothing, but usually like if we get any kind of extra, like if I get paid something from YouTube that month, or if for some reason like we get refunds of some sorts or something like that, like we just dump that all into the miscellaneous fund. So if it's not something from either one of our actual full-time jobs, then it goes there. So like when I was tutoring, all that kind of stuff, it would go here. So the only thing about this planner cake kit is that they have expenses and total expenses, but there's no total income. So I'm going to just write that in myself. So our total income, and I like to know this number just because when we get to the end, it makes it easier to add like or subtract everything. So it's going to be $6,440. That is our estimated, what I'm thinking we're going to bring home. Okay, so now that that is done, let's go ahead and grab our expenses. I used to do fixed versus variable expenses, and you could using this kit, but I personally just don't do that anymore. So we're going to move right along with just our regular expenses. All right, here's where it gets real fun. So I think what I'm going to do is probably just fast forward through me writing all of our expenses down, and then I will go back with you guys and fill in the budget. So I'm going to go ahead and write them all down, and then we'll talk about what I actually give each category. Okay, so I've written all of our categories in. So let's go ahead and go back. Actually, before I go back and fill this in, I'm just going to go ahead and put the last sticker down. So we have our total expenses, and I'm going to put that down here at the bottom. And I'm actually going to kind of cheat it down just a little bit so that I can not cover up that G in unbudgeted. And then I also will put in, actually, I'm not going to be able to do that. I added Planet Fitness this month, so I have one less line to work with than what I'm used to. So we're gonna have to cover this little poor G up. It'll be okay. Anywho, so we've got our total there, and then I'm also gonna put our savings way down here. I'm not gonna have a full line like I said because I lost a line to do Planet Fitness, but I can kind of squeeze that in down there, and that finishes off that sticker kit. So let's go ahead and talk about all of our expenses. So some of these are fixed. I know what they're going to be ahead of time. Some of these are just kind of a rough guess, or it's like a category that we give a set amount to, and that we're kind of hoping to stay in. So first things first is Gerber. That is the boys' life insurance. I pay $17.76 a month for that. Next up is our RV that we are currently living in. We pay $507 a month to that. Then we have storage. It is $247 a month, but I don't actually know if we're going to have that in August. We have talked to a friend of ours who has an extra bedroom, and he is allowing us to put our couches and our mattresses and like all of that kind of stuff, like fabric-y type stuff into his extra bedroom. And then we're going to pull just like our regular, like table, chairs, like our hard furniture, not fabric stuff, and put it into my parents' storage building. So we may not actually have that debt come out this month, or like not debt, but that payment come out this month. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get it done before the payment comes out, so then we won't have it. But obviously I'm budgeting for it because that might not happen. AT&T is usually around $205 or a little less a month, so we'll do $205. Our car payment is always $471. That is for my car. I just got it right after school started last year, so right after Hudson was born. And then we have our Lowe's payment is $249. I'm also hoping to almost have that paid off soon. Internet, we're living at my mom's, so we split it. We have $15 a month for that. Our Best Buy credit card is $30 a month. State Farm is hit or miss, so I'm gonna go $360. Sometimes it's actually a little bit more than that, but usually it's under that. Power, we paid a lot more this month than we have, but it's been so hot, so I think that's why. So I'm bumping this up to $80. I was only budgeting like $40 for it. but we paid like 70 something this month for just our part, and we split that 3 ways with my mom. And then my uncle is living with my mom in her house because he just had knee surgery, so he's, you know, needs somebody to kind of take care of him. So anywho, that was a long story, but I'm bumping this category up this month to hopefully not have to be over budget. This BOY is for a local bank that we recently took out a loan with, like a personal loan with, just to be able to get a few extra dollars to cover the last little bit of fees and stuff we needed to buy our land. If you guys are new here, then I probably should have mentioned this because this definitely is budget related, but we are living in our camper. We sold out our house and everything, and bought some land from a family friend. We bought a little over 5 acres, almost 6 acres, and it came with like a mobile home on it, an older mobile home. So we've been steadily trying to clean the place up. We actually just got a guy to take the mobile home for us, and we're doing some grading and clearing on the land and stuff. But to be able to buy that land, we had to take out a small personal loan. It should be paid in just a couple years. And we were able to buy the land outright with all the cash that we had from the sale of our house, plus that little bit of personal loan. We own the land, you know, like free and clear. So very nice. Anyways, next up is Planet Fitness. Last month that was $40.76. So I'm thinking it's going to be the exact same again. Then we have daycare. Oh, I hate writing this number down. We are going to pay $1,300 to daycare for this month for both of the boys. For gas, we're budgeting around $300. Like I said, we're not usually over on gas. That one's usually pretty good. And the next ones are the ones where we go over. Groceries, I'm bumping up to $800 a month. I know for some of you guys that probably is like, oh my God, what in the world do they spend on groceries? Like, what are they buying? But I don't know how we spend that much. Somehow we do. It's probably because we have 2 kids who are in their formula, diaper, and eat every single kind of fruit and berry you would want. So we spend a fortune every week, but that's that. Medical, I'm still trying to pay off some medical bills we have. I'm still paying on Hudson's birth, like my part of it, and what we owe for him, like his stay, because he did have a short stay in the NICU. So we're still paying on all of that. Plus, both the boys had separate trips to the emergency room in Charlotte this past year because of some really bad sicknesses we had, RSV. They both had RSV twice. We had hand, foot, mouth. They had eye infections, ear infections, strep throat, the flu. Like, we had everything you can think of. And then our last one for Gatlin was actually an unknown illness. They are still doing blood work even to this day. We go again in like 2 weeks to have more blood work done for him. So we are still kind of having those medical bills rack up, but I've been trying to put at least $500 a month towards trying to get those paid off. For fun money, and this is what we have, is our spending money for the month. So anytime we go out to eat, whether it be as a family or Jeremiah and I, if we stop and grab snacks at the gas station, if we take the boys to do something fun, all that kind of comes out of this little lump sum, and that is $500. Unbudgeted is exactly what it says. It's unbudgeted, so I'm not budgeting anything for that. That all together is going to bring our total expenses to $5,887.52. So after it's all said and done, we should be able to save $552.48, roughly. Obviously, this is give or take, and hoping that we stay on budget. So there is that set up. We have our budget, our weekly check-in, and our monthly view all set up and ready to go for August. And it's not even August yet, so I'm actually ahead of the game, which is new for me right now, because since becoming a mom, I feel like I'm always behind where I need to be. But that's okay. We're figuring it out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, you want to see anything else in my next videos, let me know down below. I'm hoping as we get back into budgeting and we start to figure things out, that I can add on sinking funds again, all of those kind of fun things. But right now, this is what we're working with, kind of bare bones. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye guys.